It's over, Alice. We're free.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're looking at video games with the most possible outcomes.
It is an ending of sorts, though not the one destiny had in store for you.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. NieR Automata. Platinum Games' terrific action RPG follows themes of struggle and free will, and one of the many ways in which it navigates those themes is through its multiple endings. NieR Automata features 26 different conclusions, specifically for each letter of the English alphabet. To reach its true finale, players must complete endings A through E, which actually isn't too big of an ask. Endings F through Z, on the other hand, are completely optional. Most of them are game over screens from losing fights or doing something you shouldn't, like self-destructing on the android space station, dooming them all. But as many of them require very specific criteria, they still take a lot of effort to reach.
It is time for the final words.
Affirmative.
To all of you who spent time with this game, thank you. Thank you for playing.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Talking about possible endings in RPGs can be a little tricky. The main story of The Witcher 3 features 3 different outcomes, all of which revolve around Geralt's adopted daughter, Ciri. However, depending on your choices regarding multiple NPCs and quest lines while you played, you can earn a variety of different epilogues, turning 3 endings into 36.
Witchers were made to kill monsters. It doesn't matter who posted the notice. The coin has to be right. That's all.
Some of these are small updates on the well-being of characters you chose to help or not. Others detail huge locations in the game's world and the impact you had on them and who's left in charge. This way, the player feels as if they've influenced the larger world rather than just the hero's personal story.
The woman had the necessary qualities. From her father, she'd inherited an empress's political instincts. From Geralt, she had gained a sense of simple human decency.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Once again, the subject of free will results in a ton of outcomes. The Stanley Parable placed players in a mysterious office building with only a snarky British narrator to keep them company. Where Stanley ended up depended on whether or not you chose to follow instructions at multiple instances. Most of the fun came from reaching its many endings and seeing how it affected your next playthrough, if at all.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
The original version included 19 different endings, but the creators went above and beyond for the Ultra Deluxe edition. Entirely new ones were introduced, while others were expanded on, bringing 19 up to an impressive 42.
Only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend.
I just can't get used to it. This thing is hideous. Who thought this would be a good look for a bathtub? I really need to get this remodeled.
Many fighting games naturally feature a lot of endings. In addition to a main story finale, most characters on a roster will get a short conclusion to their personal story. But when it comes to BlazBlue Continuum Shift, the developers went the extra mile.
Wake the hell up, you idiot!
There's a true ending unlocked after beating the story mode with specific characters. However, not only does each character get their own ending, they get several. Some bad endings are unlocked by losing certain fights, while some alternate ones are unlocked based on key decisions. Some characters even have joke endings unlocked in the middle of their stories. The updated Extend version added new story elements and characters, resulting in a total of 62 possible endings.
Black Dagger! Nightmare Ray! Destruction!
Time Travelers.
What? Why won't it stop?
In this Japan-only adventure game, players must use time travel to stop a second disastrous attack in a futuristic Tokyo. The way it plays with endings is quite different from most games. Players have a ton of choices to make, and making a wrong one can lead to one of many bad endings. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. However, you can then reverse the outcome through time travel and continue the story, while all of your decisions are represented on a handy flowchart. Your final choice leads to one of 2 true endings, but there are also 69 possible negative outcomes to experience. Princess Maker 2.
あれあれ、子守一つできないようじゃ、ろくな母親になれないよ。
お前さんか。よく来た。
Princess Maker 2 is one of the more interesting sim games out there. You play as a famous warrior who's given a young girl to raise as their own by a deity. From ages 10 to 18, you'll make all kinds of choices for the child, including their education and social life. The game ends when she comes of age and chooses a profession, though your decisions also affect how happy she is and whether or not she gets married. Your ending score is determined by what the game deems a successful career and life, with a variety of outcomes ranging from queen to court jester to harlot to princess of darkness. All in all, there are 74 possible lives for your daughter to take on. Detroit Become Human.
All right. You win.
Developer Quantic Dream has become known for choice-heavy narratives that can go in multiple directions, and Detroit Become Human is, so far, the peak of the studio's design philosophy. Set in a futuristic world, players control 3 different androids as they struggle with free will. Yes, here we are again, in a world that treats them like second-class citizens. Since there are so many decisions to be made across 3 separate storylines, some players ended up with vastly different outcomes than others.
I detected instability in your program. It can trigger an unpleasant feeling, like fear in humans.
There are 85 possible conclusions to reach in Detroit. Many of them do overlap and only feature minor changes, but there are still around 40 distinct endings you can reach.
We are alive! And now, we are free!
Star Ocean, the second story R.
Just thinking a little.
You mean about our little adventure? I wonder how everyone's doing.
The second story is a beloved entry in the Star Ocean series, having received both a remaster in 2008 and a remake in 2023. Blending elements of sci-fi and fantasy, it follows a soldier who must make it back to Earth while stopping a universe-wide plot across different planets. The RPG places a lot of emphasis on your choices, not just as a way to progress, but to decide how your characters end up. The original version featured 86 different endings. However, the 2008 remaster added 13 new ones, all of which were retained for the 2023 remake.
And since you're from another planet, there's all the more chance you'll make that dream come true.
You really want to be with me that much?
428, Shabuya Scramble. This cult classic adventure game is noteworthy for a few reasons. It's entirely in live action, and its crime-centric plot spans different genres depending on which of the 5 characters you're playing as. Being that it's mostly a visual novel, gameplay consists of reading and making key choices along the way. Because of its design, the developers made sure to make the plot as tantalizing as possible, but also included a plethora of outcomes based on how you choose to interact with it. While there are more than 100 narrative paths to go down, there are 87 possible endings to unlock. Baldur's Gate 3.
The pain rips through you, obliterating all thought, all feeling. Your tadpole burns in your brain.
Admittedly, the different endings of Baldur's Gate 3 are a special case. You have the good and evil endings, whether you choose to fight against or take control of the final threat. And you can end the game early in Act 2 by having Gale blow up both your party and the villains. However, because there are so many choices to make and paths to go down, Larian estimates around 17,000 possible variations to reach. Some may be minor, brought on by a single choice in any given companion storyline. Others can be major, like the absence of allies in the final battle because you didn't complete their quests or chose to kill them. The game excels at player freedom, but 17,000 is still ridiculously impressive.
In my name.
What's your favorite game with a ton of endings? Share your thoughts in the comments and be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great gaming videos.
Our battle will continue for some time to come. But that's another story for another day.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.